Hey, it is working. Good. Hello, everybody. XCOM 2. Hello, Mallinka.
Hello.
Hello. So here we are outside the 611, as we were just discussing. Um, the aliens require it to be open an hour early.
Yeah, sunlight and all that. I think they're just too scared to walk in the open sunlight.
Yeah. So let's just get stuck in, I think. There will be cutscenes. They will be loud, I should warn you. But not for Mallinka, who won't be able to hear them, but it's fine. Malinka's actually watched this beginning cutscene, knowing that he wouldn't be able to watch it very well in the game, so let's go.
Just so you guys know, that's actually the only thing I've seen. Do you want to do the tutorial, or are you going to skip that?
Let's do it, I guess. Yeah, because there's some, without spoilers, some good stuff. What else was I going to say? Yes, well, before we start, if you want any characters named after you, audience members, then please let me know and I'll adjust the soldiers' names. I've already got one request from a viewer that came through on Twitter. So yeah, you can let me know in the comments below, or you can tweet me at Fireweaver LC. Either way, let me know somehow, and I'll give you a soldier. We're going to start off with just veteran, I think, and let's go.
Okay. Just so you guys know, I am completely blind in this game. Fire's played it for a couple of hours, but me, I've only seen this cutscene.
Continues to build as city centers across the globe prepare for the 20th anniversary of Unification Day.
Thousands line up at the site of the Great Accord, celebrating the formation of the Advent Coalition.
Keeping with their promise to humanity, 12 new gene therapy clinics will be opening in select cities by the end of the new year.
Despite the attempted attack by fringe elements, operations at the new facility in Paris thankfully remain unaffected.
In response to the unprovoked intrusion on the eve of our most beloved celebration, the speaker reaches out to us.
A small number of dissidents again repeat the mistakes of the old world.
Striking as we celebrate a benevolent savior who time and again offers only friendship and compassion.
Yet these trivial actions could never break the bond between humanity and the Elders.
Peacekeeping forces have already made several preemptive arrests of known collaborators. Advent again assures all citizens that today's celebrations will continue as planned.
Perfect.
The Advent administration reminds you to report all suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeper. Only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Approaching position. You were right. They've definitely got their hands full today.
Stay focused. Prep gatecrasher.
60 seconds.
Do you reckon it's those body scanners where it's also X-ray as well?
TSA at a new level. Dear calls, how are those necks holding up those helmets? Explosive in the form of the old XCOM logo.
Now.
Boom.
Signal received.
Cool gals don't look at
Loud
explosions.
and clear. Okay, Gatecrasher. Your turn.
Wait. The intro shot had a minigun. Why are we just getting a machine gun? Like all hacks.
Advent forces are swarming to the blast point. We need to move on the package before they figure out what we're up to.
Cool, and then we'll do the tutorial stuff. So it'll be pretty obvious. And I might talk over some of it, so don't worry about that.
Copy that. Moving up.
So basically, the story of this game is based on what happens if you lose XCOM 1. and that's the idea behind, you know, the setup for the story of this game, which is really cool. So aliens have successfully invaded, and they've declared peace in some way. And
we all know it's bullshit, of course.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they're all after our women. They're always after our women.
But I'm exposed here.
It's better than nothing. But see if you can't find a safer position further out.
Looks like full cover ahead. Moving out.
So the reason I'm doing the tutorial, not that I need the tutorial, but it's just because there's some cool things that happen during this sequence. So
I need a tutorial. I'm new to XCOM.
Well, that's well, not completely new to XCOM.
Double time.
This is all. If there's anything new that comes up, I'll explain it again. But
Holding position. We're gonna have to go through them. Stay out of sight until we're ready to strike.
Copy that.
Keep to the shadows until you're absolutely set. We'll only get one shot at this.
okay. So this is the first new mechanic that is for XCOM 2. Is that you start off most missions, or about 50% of the missions, you'll start off in concealment mode. With concealment mode, we can't be detected by the opposing forces unless we're in an area which is highlighted by red circles in some way. Well, they're gone apparently in move mode, but there are certain other things that will also give away your position. One is going through windows is noisy, so that gives away your position. And there's going through a door is also noisy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's better to go through the wall. They won't hear that.
Well, that's noisy too if you're having to blow the wall up first, but you get the idea.
Oh, that's a lot of soldiers.
So this allows us to get the drop on them rather than... So normally what would happen is that we would discover them like this, and then they would all scout... In XCOM 1 they'd all run off and take their turn, right? Whereas in this mode they don't run off like that. So we can follow the tutorial here.
They may have the numbers, but we've got surprise on our side.
So this allows us to set up an ambush here. In this case, via a cutscene, I think.
You and me both. We're not out of the woods yet. We need to take out those remaining soldiers.
Okay, so we've had a distraction from the XCOM itself, the organisation. So now we can go into tactical UI and fire the weapon and take our first shot. This will alert them to our presence unless the tutorial overwrites that, but I don't think it does. Yeah, so now we're revealed and now they get to move. So what we could have done is set up this girl here in Overwatch, so that when they scarpered like that, she could have taken a shot. That's the better way of setting up for this. So,
I appreciate the bravery, but you're dangerously close right now. Be careful.
So, and rather like XCOM 1, this is going to teach us a little bit about how not to play the game as well as how to play the game. So, you'll see that in a second.
Yep. Yep. They're going to move in and shoot you in the face.
Yeah. I think...
Dear God, they killed that plant.
I think if you don't do
Hold
the
them for murder.
tutorial, then you won't lose soldiers. But in this case, we're going to lose soldiers. And exactly the same as XCOM 1. It teaches you about loss as well as success.
Damn it! You can't take risks like that. Watch your flanks.
So that's how you want to play it.
There's not really much you can talk about tactics-wise for me because I've got to do these things. It's part of the
Yep.
tutorial.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to move towards the car.
Well, I did. See this yellow marker? I literally can't
yeah.
do anything else. Like it's.
Oh, it's actually obligated. Okay.
Yeah, it's obligated for the tutorial. You can turn the tutorial off, but yeah. So this teaches us about flanking. Nothing new here. So.
Hi. Pop, pop, pop.
So I'm only going to worry about explaining stuff if it's new to the XCOM series.
They're closing in on me. What?
Ah, somebody shot me.
Yeah, we were saved at the last moment.
She's calling reinforcements. Stop that. Transmission.
Central, reporting in.
You're late. What have you been doing down there?
Taking in the sights.
So they're not human.
What are these things?
They're us. At least there used to be. Human hybrid soldiers. Advent's reward for obedience and service.
We've all heard rumors. I just never believed it was true.
No one wanted to. But we find what we're looking for today. I promise you that's gonna change. Let's move.
So Advent soldiers are. I'll explain this a bit in a minute. So.
Cover the left side.
Blah blah blah. Right. So yeah, Advent soldiers start off as human, and through alien stuff they are.
Through alien stuff.
Well, you know, anal probes, that kind of thing.
Wing wong.
They get turned into those kind of weird hybrids. So that's important in terms of lore of how this game is later. But yeah, they're human. So let's set up here. So this is.
If I remember Enemy Within, we had soldiers jumping onto roofs and all that. So gene therapy isn't that new.
Yeah. So this in XCOM 1, the people like Finn men especially would just teleport down in random places, and you wouldn't really know where they were about to teleport to, but you knew, quite often you knew that was about to happen. In here, this is the indicator to say we're about to get a drop like that, and we know its location more or less, so we can react to it.
Seems a bit more fair, seeing that they could just jump in anywhere without a ship being above them.
Yeah. So this tells us that that's going to happen, so we're going to overwatch it so we can be prepared for it.
Boy Scout motto. And Scar's motto from the Lion King as well.
However, we do have an objective inside. So let's... The objective inside is over here, but that's fine.
I'm loving the detail on the weapons. Wow.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that later, but yeah, that is crazy. So, about 3 turns ago, when we shot the second soldier, he dropped some loot. As long as you end a move sequence, not a turn, a move, in a square like this, at any point in it, not just when it runs out, but at any point, then we're able to pick up the loot. So we're actually going to do that here. And because it's the end of the move sequence and not the turn, we get the item, and she can still act.
Nice.
Looting,
it is now an option in XCOM.
Yeah.
I love it.
if the game ends... because you've fulfilled the conditions and there's loot on the floor that you haven't picked up, I believe it gets picked up automatically.
Oh, same like the gene materials in XCOM 1.
Yeah, but if the timer runs out, then you lose it completely. But if the timer's still going, and then you get to keep the loot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll wait for the other explanation to do with that in a minute, but when it becomes relevant to what's going on. And here's our friends.
Reinforcements just hit the ground.
They're getting nervous. Now I know we're in the right place.
And as they activate, because they're spotted, our Overwatch activates. And one down.
Good to go.
Cool. Remember, that was that guy's previous turn, so he still has this turn to attack as well. Because the aliens don't take a turn right away. All they get to do is that first movement, but they don't get to shoot on their first turn. So let's back this soldier up a little bit.
Seems like a good plan.
Yeah. Well, it's told by the story as well, but yeah. So then we get a choice. Do we shoot the officer or the trooper? They're both, well, this one's better, but I'm just going to, I think you have to anyway.
Don't forget, you've got only one shot left. You'll need to reload in a second.
I won't, it's not a thing, don't worry. Tutorial, remember.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going for the door.
In fact, everything is set up, so it doesn't matter who I chose to shoot there, that it would have missed.
Really?
The whole lot is completely scripted for this section. So, okay, so she's going to come over here.
Well, I'll stop with my advice then.
Yeah.
Through the door's security protocols. They were never expecting anyone to get
So,
too close.
this door is actually locked, but she's close enough to manually hack it. And I'm using the word manually hack because it's important later, but this is a manual hack. So, we get 3 options while we're hacking. So, we can choose to go for the guarantee, I think. Well, maybe we don't. Yeah, but, get the choice here. But anyway, or we can choose to do any of these. So the disguise signal soldier immediately gains concealment as a reward if we can get all the way up here. Or we can soldier gains complete immunity from the next 2 attacks. We could choose that as our reward. As it happens, if we fail, it doesn't make any difference. It says no effect. But if you choose one of these rewards, you have to check on the failing conditions to see, like, I want to go for this, but if I fuck it up, this is what will happen. So, in this case, the tutorial and everything, there's no bad things that can happen, so I'm going to choose the most unlikely one. Anyway, they're both extremely unlikely, regardless.
Yeah.
And that's to do with our tech levels, or our hack skill, but that will come later. Oh, cool. We almost got it. That was amazing.
Good. Let's go.
Yeah, every soldier has a hack skill. Regardless of whether they are like a specialist role, which are hackers. But everyone has the ability.
This is the place.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Looks like there's an access panel attached. If you get me a better look, I might be able to...
Subtility's overrated.
Indeed. Smash and grab.
Let's get out of here.
So, soldiers are unconscious, dead, or bleeding out. You'll want to pick them up and take them out of the battlefield. The reason for that is, especially if they're dead, well, you either are saving them to take them out so that they can be healed up or whatever. Or if they're dead, this allows you to get their equipment back. Because if they die in the battlefield, then you may not be able to get their equipment. So we're going to pick this unit up and carry him.
The entire Advent security grid just lit up. Firebrand is holding nearby for evac.
Okay.
Now or never, Central.
Understood.
Okay.
We're on the move.
Why is the guy standing?
No.
He was asking for it.
Yeah, so now we lose another soldier. That's fine.
Central, Pressure 1 is down. You have to get out of there.
We need another exit, now!
Okay, so we'll move Jane back up here. That's fine.
Got it covered.
And because we don't have another exit, we're going to make ourselves an exit. So just so you can see, I'm just going to chuck my grenade here.
Same mechanics as XCOM 1 for throwing grenades?
Yeah. Although it shreds armor, which is
new.
different. Yeah. And armor works differently in this game, but we'll get to that when we get to armor. So don't worry about that. So as it's saying here, we can still move at our full movement speed whilst carrying, but we cannot shoot or anything like that. So
Really? Why in that position? Why not in cover? Oh well.
it is in cover. That's full cover from the back side. We're up against this pillar here.
Yeah, that's no cover from the front side.
Well, that's a shoot. Yeah, but the aliens are behind us, not in front of us.
Right behind us.
True enough.
And anyway, tutorial.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, so he took a big hit there. She'd have been dead if he had hit her, but yeah.
We need an immediate evac. Get us out of here.
Cool. So in some missions, we can choose our evac point. Most missions, in the little bit that I've played, I've not actually been able to use this mechanic. So, yeah, I think it happens occasionally. But yeah, we can choose to. But it could just be that I was just trying to complete the mission, but you may be allowed to evac in many missions to leave early and fail the mission, but without losing soldiers. You might be allowed to use that mechanic. I don't know. I didn't really test that. It possibly is a thing.
I'm just not used to seeing John Bradford actually running around. I'm so used to him just being the guy with the mic and taking care of everything in the base.
Oh, yeah, indeed. So, as long as he's stood in there, we are allowed to evac. And the cutscene is going to take care of the rest. So,
Job well done.
and our first mystery of the game. Good, we're back in base.
Carefully! There's potentially decades of atrophy to contend with.
Wish we had more time.
I don't disagree.
But as it stands now, we risk losing the patient if we don't begin the removal procedure immediately.
We're ready.
Good. Then let's get on with it.
Remarkable.
Just like 20 years ago. We were still calling it a war back then. We had no idea what was coming.
Response from the cerebral cortex. Good. Prepping for cranial intrusion. I've managed to identify the connection. Preparing to make final incision.
These readings are getting really erratic.
Of course they are. These implants were never designed to be removed. We are risking severe...
No plan B here, people. Do it.
It's a tongue extractor.
Doctor! No signal.
Pupillary response normal. Vitals stabilizing. Procedure complete.
Told them it would take more than that to keep you down. Welcome back, Commander.
So that was us in that thing.
Glad to see you're finally coming out of it. Don't envy the headache you must have, though. Still, can't fault Dr. Tigan. Especially as no one's even attempted something like this before. Easy. We're still not entirely sure what they did to you. That chip was buried halfway into your skull.
Harsh.
Lost a lot of good soldiers looking for you over the years.
There's our old base and stuff.
Almost gave up hope you were still out there.
And Dr. Shen.
Acted on the intel as soon as I got word.
Well, actually, that was the whole engineering
what
team.
you remember,
Also science.
but,
Yeah.
A lot's changed. Did the best I could, but the last 20 years have been tough without you. You feel like catching up. Shen has the archive up and running on your terminal.
We will look at that in a
Otherwise,
second.
I'd go see Dr. Tigan when you're ready. There's some things you should know. He'll be better at explaining them than me. It's damn good to have you back, Commander.
So that cutscene actually showed the exact point at which you failed the first mission, and that is during the alien base capture part. So that's the idea. When the alien base capture happened in XCOM Enemy Within, I guess, we lose that, is basically what that's about.
If I remember right, we kicked their asses with rookies.
Yeah, we did, yeah. So, but since that's that event, so the history of XCOM, basically in 1993 XCOM was created, and for 2 decades they basically did nothing much. They were created to plan for the unknown, but they didn't know what was, if anything, they didn't even know aliens existed particularly. It was just prepping a specialist unit. And then 2 decades later, in 2015, the original game took place, basically, and we then get activated and we fight the aliens, which obviously, because of the cutscene, we know we lose. A few months later, in July of the same year, we basically lose the fight, and we end up having negotiations with the alien elders, and they agree that we can coexist, and they form a pact of between the nations. And in the 20 years since that event, the alien have installed this Advent government, and we've had peace and prosperity ever since.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, at least as far as the propaganda goes. So the government installed this network tower, being the central hub of the alien psychic network. And I know the tower itself is identifiable fixture. No one knows its real purpose. Most people believe that the Advent forces are coordinated also within that tower.
Well, they should follow Rule 1 then. When in doubt, nuke it.
Well, except we were supposed to be at peace, so you know.
I follow the rules of Gandhi from Civilization.
So the Advent, in terms of the way they've been governing, they've been doing a lot of recruitment of civilians. There's been an atmosphere of distrust being encouraged, so that the citizens will self-report any dissidents amongst their own inhabitants.
Nasty.
So basically they're saying that even the population is generally against us, like the regular population. which means that during our concealment phase, even if the population sees you, then you'll lose your concealment. That's basically what that's about. And then all of our belief system and values have been replaced with, and the elders love. We've got to love the elders instead. So that's the history. But I think that gives a really good overview of XCOM 2 as an intro. I've just lost Mallinka there in Skype, so I'll deal with that in a second. But I'm going to wrap up the episode anyway. So from me and Mallinka, I'm just going to say goodbye on his behalf. We'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.